read the news, I mean, there's a lot of attorneys who've gotten into trouble for all kinds of horrible stuff. Why is it that we're saying, oh, we can trust an attorney with this information, but we can't trust the client, the party who has not had these problems inherent? It's not like the judge is watching every email and phone call that goes on between counsel. So there's a lot of, kind of things that happen before it percolates up to the judge. It's, like I say, I don't really think it's an exchange of money thing that's going to work here. It's really going to be getting Justin's reputation restored without Blake completely admitting that she lied.
The case involving Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni is as dramatic as it is confusing, especially now that Blake has filed a protective order, adding another layer of complexity. When a qualified lawyer weighs in, things become even more intense. According to the lawyer, the stakes appear to be higher for Justin. Blake's legal strategy seems focused on classifying all information she provides to the court as sensitive, limiting access to attorneys only. However, this approach may not hold up entirely. Both parties are likely to clash over what should remain confidential and what can be disclosed publicly. This tug-of-war could lead to delays and increased legal maneuvering, making an already complicated situation even more difficult. The lawyer points out that while certain types of information, such as medical records, should absolutely be treated as sensitive and kept off the public record, Blake's broad classification of all her submissions as confidential presents a challenge. This strategy may not work in Justin's favor, especially if the court questions the blanket sensitivity claim.
Well, who's going to decide this when it's turning it over? So when Blake says, oh, all of my text messages are, of course, highly personal and intimate, so therefore I'm designating them as such, and here's the kicker, attorney eyes only.
Here's where things really start to get complicated. Justin Baldoni is facing a serious challenge with the attorney's eyes only AEO order. When something is labeled AEO, even his own lawyers aren't allowed to share that information with him. That means Baldoni might be completely unaware of some of the details being presented in court about him, which is a major problem. Normally, lawyers and clients work together to go over evidence, craft responses, and build a solid strategy. But if Baldoni's legal team can't show him what Blake Lively has submitted under the AEO designation, how is he supposed to defend himself or offer crucial context? It creates a serious imbalance. One side gets to label information as too sensitive to share, while the other side is left in the dark. That's the fundamental issue with the AEO order in this case. It effectively ties Justin Baldoni's hands behind his back. His lawyers are expected to respond to evidence without being able to discuss it with the one person who knows the full story, him. Without access to what's being said, he can't challenge claims or provide vital insights, making it nearly impossible to mount a fair and informed defense.
And I'm paying for you to collect it.
Yeah. So you pay me all this money, and I'm like, oh, I can't share that with you. Like, well, of course, how can I not share it with you? You're my client. I have a duty to you, and you know more than I do about the facts. And now you could be like, oh, if I saw that message, this would then unlock all this other information or inconsistencies, but I can't share it with you. It's totally screwed up. Interferes with the attorney-client relationship.
GPT said. But that's not the only concern this lawyer has. With the attorney's eyes only, AEO designation, the deeper issue, one that often gets overlooked, is the amount of unchecked trust it places in lawyers. And let's be honest, not every lawyer is a paragon of integrity. There have been plenty of instances where attorneys have breached client trust, mishandled sensitive information, or prioritized their own interests over their clients. With AEO in place, Justin Baldoni is essentially forced to rely completely on his legal team's judgment because they're the only ones allowed to see certain evidence. That's a lot of power in their hands. If a lawyer misinterprets something, misses a crucial detail, or doesn't push back as hard as they should, Baldoni wouldn't even know. He's flying blind in his own case, trusting that his team won't slip up, or worse, let him down. Still, as frustrating as the AEO order is, both sides will ultimately have to figure out how to navigate it. Legal battles are full of hurdles like this. Yes, it complicates everything, but it doesn't make a fair fight impossible. There's also a limit to how far Blake Lively can go with this tactic. If she tries to slap the AEO label on everything just to keep Baldoni in the dark, the judge can step in. Courts don't typically tolerate abuse of confidentiality rules. And if it looks like she's overreaching, the judge can call her out. This could still turn into a drawn-out legal chess match. It's not unusual for one side, maybe both, to try to stall and delay, dragging out the process to wear the other down. The more time Justin's team spends just trying to get access to the information they need, the harder it becomes to mount a proper defense. At the heart of it, this isn't just a case about facts or money. It's about control. Neither Blake nor Justin seems in a rush to settle. When both parties have the money and resources to stretch the case out, it becomes a game of endurance. Filing motions, appealing rulings, disputing what counts as confidential. It's all part of the strategy. And in high-profile legal battles like this, the winner isn't always the one with the strongest argument. It's often the one who can outlast the other, and edge or wear the other person down. With AEO restrictions in place, it adds yet another layer to this legal chess match, one side working to keep information